Hey, Wantrans here. So how many of you in the past has tried to win a speed race against a Warlord team, only to find out that you were slower, or when you were actually faster, had reaction accessories mess you up? Well, I have a go second solution for you today, where you won't have to be faster to win, and because it's a go second setup, reaction won't be a problem anymore. I introduce you to my high resist Kymar combo. The idea behind this combo is letting your opponent buff and do other stuff on their first turns, so that reaction becomes inactive. When their Warlord hits your team, everyone will have their skill cooldowns increased, but Kymar will resist this effect, and be able to replenish the skills of Madame and Trunda. All this while, you hide under a huge shield so that nobody dies, as you don't have a reviver on this comp. For this combo, you'll need a high resist Kymar in immunity. Have a reliable shield unit such as Krisk, Necrit, Ursuka, or even a shield set Seeker. Immunity Madame and Immunity Nuker with 2 AoEs in their kit, such as Ithos or even Ignatius. If you have a Necrit, you can get away with running a Savage Nuker, and only in this case would I say you can get away with using a Nuker, such as Ithos or Ignatius, and still do enough damage as there's a large difference in multipliers between Trunda and other top AoE Nukers. You can blame Plarium for this disparity. Trunda, I'd say, is the only nuker which can deal enough damage in immunity consistently, and for this reason, I'd highly recommend Trunda above all to make this combo as stable as possible. So these are the stats of my champions for reference. For Kymar, I focused purely on pushing his resistance as high as I could, while getting enough speed so that he's faster than my Madame and Trunda. For Krisk, I focused only on HP to improve his shield, and some accuracy for his passive. And then for Madame, I focused on keeping a high balance of HP and defense, while pushing her accuracy as high as possible. And then finally for my Trunda, I focused on balancing a high amount of HP and defense, but mainly maximizing her offensive stats as much as I could without making her too slow. So these are the masteries on my champions. I did not optimize the masteries to perfection for this use case, but I will point out the changes you should consider making if you want to min-max for perfect synergy. I used to use my Kymar in a high resist shield set, so I tailored his masteries for that use. They will work in this case, but if you can push up to around 200 accuracy on your immunity resist Kymar without affecting the resist, you can take advantage of his A2 sleep, which will help skip some turns and help grant your slower Madame and Trunda their turns. And in which case I would recommend a different set of masteries that synergize with a higher accuracy build, to which I will link in the description below. For Krisk, I would recommend changing the T5 Evil Eye Mastery that I have on mine to Solidarity Mastery, as his opening shield buff will slightly push the resist on your Kymar up, so that will alleviate the amount of strain on your gearing. And then, again, I will link the recommended adjusted masteries in the description below for Krisk. Madame's masteries are optimized for essentially every use case for immunity build, and can be copied here. Finally, my Trunda's masteries here are optimized for maximal damage, with a bit more sustained by Blood Shield mastery upon kill to help her survive, in case Swift Parry Nuker counterattacks her, and especially a Whirlwind of Death mastery so that it will help her lap around for her second nuke if a Swift Parry Reviver revives, since she's now a slower build. You can choose to use the same ones I have on my Trunda, or you can make modifications to your liking, as she's fairly flexible. And then just as a side note, I chose the 75 attack T1 mastery on the offense tree since I had too much crit on my finalized build and wanted to min-max my Trunda more. So that's something to consider when building your Trunda as well. I also purposely skipped the T5 master on Madame and Trunda on the defense tree since there's nothing that was beneficial to me. A Cycle of Revenge would throw off their turn orders, as this is a go second team, and counterattacks could end up causing enemy Cycle of Revenge to proc and mess up things in other combos, aside from this one. These are the stat targets I'd recommend you to hit for all the champions. Most of the highest accuracy warlords you encounter in Arena are built for a lot more speed than accuracy, so they generally do not surpass 550 accuracy. So to reliably resist these warlords, you'll need about 150 or more resistance than their accuracy. So I'd say 680 is the absolute minimum you should have for Kymar in this case, and ideally even above 700 if you can. And then for Krisk, you want to try and get at least over 100k HP in order to make a shield massive. If you're using different shield units, it's the same idea, you just want to maximize the HP and try to thicken the shield as much as possible. For Madame, try and stack as much accuracy on her as possible, which will make it easier given the slower speed offense meta currently, and aim for above over 650 if you can. For Trunda, just try to make her your most spoiled, as come on, who doesn't spoil their Trunda, with the best offensive immunity gear you can manage at over around 6500 attack and 250 crit damage, which shouldn't be too hard since she just needs to be slightly over 200 speed, and I found that was enough. That aside, try and make all the immunity units overall as tanky as possible with glyphs and from substats, as Go Second teams require a good balance of survival stats to be reliable. As I want to give my viewers the honest truth and not debate any of you, I'd recommend to avoid hitting Warlord teams with high damage dealers such as Trunda or Candraphons that you would see in the Platinum Arena, as when they have attack up, sometimes even with a massive shield, like under maybe 100k HP plus Crisp Shield, it's not enough to keep your nuker alive. I'll still include clips of me successfully winning against these nuke Warlord defenses, but it's really hit or miss from my experience, and even with the gear quality like mine, the problem is that Warlord has only a 50% chance to deplete the turn meter of those he hits when he uses A3. This inconsistency causes problems. There are times where Madame's turn meter gets depleted, but Trunda's does not. So you'll have to wait one turn cycle by purposely just using A1 on Trunda on just a random unit, and then allowing Madame to take her turn to strip before you drop the nuke. Essentially, this delay in the combo will allow the enemy nuker to get another turn, and most likely kill your nuker before you can get your combo off. Thus, this team works best only on pure stall Warlord defenses. With all this said, here's the combo in action. I hope that these offense combo videos help give you extra ideas in countering the current swift parry and reaction meta. You can trust that when I share these combos, they are of practical use, and I personally found them to be reliable, so they have my personal vouch. I won't debate any of my viewers just for some content, so that is my promise. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And until next time, I'll see you again soon. Wantrans out.